श्रीशैलेश दयापात्रं धीभक्त्यादिगुणार्णवं यतीन्द्रप्रवणं वन्दे रम्यजामातरमुनिं लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुग्म व्यामोहदस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये मातापिता युवदयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वगुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखरयोगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणुपरकालयतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम् ஒன்னும் தேவும் உலகும் உயிரும் மத்தும் யாதுமில்லான் நான் முகந்தன்னொடு தேவர் உலகோடு ஏற்படைத்தான் குன்னம் போல் மணிமாட நீடு திருக்குறுகூரதனுள் நின்ன ஆதிப்பிரான் நிற்க மத்தை தெய்வம் நாடுதிரே ஆழ்வார்கள் வாழி அருளிச் செயல் வாழி தாழ்வாது மெல்குறவர் தாம் வாழி ஏழ்பாறு முய்ய அவர்கள் உரைத்தவைகள் தாம் வாழி செய்ய மறை தன்னுடனே சேர்ந்து ஸ்ரீ கர்கவம்ச கலச்சார்ணவ பூர்ணச்சந்திரம் ஸ்ரீ வெங்கடாரிய குருவர்ய தனூஜரத்னம் தஸ்மாதவாப்த நிகமாந்த ரகசிய ஜாலம் ஸ்ரீமத் ஸ்தலேசய குரும் சததம் பஜாமி. Dear Astikas, we have been enjoying the glories of various Divya Desams for the last several months. Today, we are going to enjoy about this Divya Desam called Azhvaar Thirunagari or Thirukkurugoor. The month that we are in is called Margari. When we say Margari, the first thing that comes to our mind is Andal. It is the month where we celebrate Tirupavai and Andal. Andal was born in Srivilliputturu. Now we enjoyed the glories of Srivilliputturu in the month of Adi, the month when Andal was born. Okay, what else can you think of when we say Margari? The next thing that would come to your mind is Vaikunta Ekadasi. We celebrated Vaikunta Ekadasi just yesterday. The significance of Vaikunta Ekadasi is that it is also called Mokshada Ekadasi, and it bestows liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Now, in all our temples, the days preceding and following Vaikunta Ekadasi is celebrated very joyously, joyfully. The Utsavam itself is called Adhyayana Utsavam. A lot of the devotees just long for this period. Throughout the year, we look forward to this Adhyayana Utsavam period. It is during this Adhyayana Utsavam, which is a 21-day festival, that we celebrate the works of all the Azhvars and of all the Azhvars. The 10 days preceding Vaikunta Ekadashi are called Pagal Pattu. And the Pagal Pattu Utsavam is celebrated by reciting the works of Azhvars that make up the Mudal Ayiram and the Irandam Ayiram. That is, we recite Periyazhvaar Thirumozhi. We recite starting from Thiruppallandu, Periyazhvaar Thirumozhi, Nachiyar Thirumozhi, Perumal Thirumozhi, Tiruchandaviruttam, Thirumalai, Thiruppalli Ezhuchi, Amalanadi Piran, and Kanninun Siruthambu from the Mudal Ayiram. And the Irandam Ayiram is all of or most of Kaliyan's works. Kaliyan is Tirumangayalvar. We recite Periya Tirumozhi, Thirukkurundandagam and Thirunedundandagam. The Pagal Pattu Utsavam is wrapped up the day before Vaikunta Ekadashi. And then on Vaikunta Ekadashi day, from that day we start the Rapattu Utsavam. And during the Rapattu Utsavam, Nammalvar is celebrated. Nammalvar is considered the leader of all the Alvars, amongst all the Alvars. He is also special because he is also part of the Acharya Guru Paramparai. Now, it is believed that Vaikunta Ekadashi happens, or the glory of Vaikunta Ekadashi is that Sriman Narayana himself, he descended to take Nammalvar to Paramapadam, that is to Sri Vaikuntham. And it is because of that Vaikunta Ekadashi is celebrated with so much of glory. So it is not an exaggeration if we say that the hero of the Margazhi month is Nammalvar. During Irapattu, all of Nammalvar's works are recited for 10 days. At the end of those 10 days, an event called Nammalvar Azhvaar Thirunagari Thirukkurugoor, that is, Azhvar being granted Paramapadam, that event happens, and at the end of which, upon our request, Sriman Narayana gives Azhvar back to us. So, it is this month which exemplifies the glories of Nammalvar and his works. It is because of that reason that today we choose to enjoy Azhvar's birthplace, Azhvaar Divya Desa, which is called Azhvaar Thirunagari or Thirukkurugoor. Normally, when we have to refer any of the Azhvars, we would refer them, we would prefix their names. For example, you would say Thirumangayalvar, or you would say Periyalvar, Thondaradi Podiyalvar, Poigayalvar, Boodattalvar, Peyalvar. But when you don't attach any of those prefixes, and if you say just Azhvar, then it only means Nammalvar. Whenever we start a seva kalam or a prayer or a recitation event, we offer salutary verses called Taniyans. Taniyans are the invocatory slokams that are recited at the beginning of these seva kalams at temples, mutts, homes, etc. Each Divya Prabandham has its own Taniyan. There is also a set of common verses, common Taniyans that are always recited at the beginning. They are called Podu Taniyans. Every month when Adiyan is talking about the glories of the Divya Desam, Adiyan always starts with the Podu Taniyan. There are 5 Podu Taniyans, starting with Sri Sailesa Daya Patram Dhibhaktya Gunarnavam Yatindra Pravanam Vande Ramya Jamataram Munim. This is the Taniyan or the invocatory verse offered to Swami Manavala Mamunigal, who is considered as the Acharya of Sri Ranganatha himself. The next Taniyan is for the Acharya Guru Parampara, starting from Sriman Narayana. Lakshminatha Samarambham, that is, the glorious Guru Parampara that starts with Sriman Narayana, Lakshminathan. Lakshminatha Samarambham Natha Yamuna Madhyamam. The Guru Parampara that has Natha Munigal and Yamunacharya or Alavandar in the middle and ends with Ramanuja, because the Taniyan was composed by Kooratalvan and Ramanuja was his Acharya. The beauty of this Taniyan is that it is applicable to anyone, because we say Lakshminatha Samarambham, that is starting with Lakshminatha, Natha Yamuna Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, until my Acharyan, Vande Guru Parampara, I offer my obeisances. The third Taniyan glorifies Ramanuja. Yonityam achyuda padambuja yugma rugma vyamohatastaditarani trunayamene asmad guror bhagavatosya dayaika sindhoho Ramanujasya charanau sharanam prapadye. The fourth Taniyan is that of Nammalvar. It was composed by Swami Alavandar or Yamunacharya. Mata Pita Yuvatayasthanaya Vibhutihi Sarvam Yadeva Niyamena Madanvayanam Adyasyanah Kulapater Vagulabhiramam Srimat Tadangri Yugalam Pranamami Murdha. The meaning of this Taniyan is that I bow down to the lotus feet of Nammalvar, whose lotus feet are always the mother, father, children, wealth and everything else, and who is the leader of our Sri Vaishnava community. Such lotus feet are decorated with magira flowers and always glowing radiantly. This is the fourth Taniyan. And then the fifth and the last of the Podu Taniyans, that is the general Taniyans, glorifies all of the Alvars and Emperumanar. It was composed by Parasara Bhattar, who is the son of Kooratalvan. And in this Taniyan, all the Alvars are glorified along with Nammalvar, with Nammalvar being the leader. Bhutam Sarascha Mahadahvaya Bhattanatha Sri Bhaktisara Kulasekara Yogivahan Bhaktangrenu Parakala Yatindra Mishran Srimat Parankusamunim Pranatosmi Nityam. I always, every day, I worship. Nammalvar is hailed as the chief of the Alvars and is glorified as the whole or the complete, and all the other Alvars are considered as his various parts, such as his head, his eyes, etc. For example, Bhudatalvar is highlighted as the head, Poigai Alvar and Peyalvar as his eyes, and so on. It is that Nammalvar for whom the entire Adhyayana Utsavam is conducted, and hence it is very, very apt to recount the glories of Nammalvar's birthplace today. The temple in Thirukkurugoor, or Azhvaar Thirunagari, as it is fondly referred, is known as Adinathar Azhvaar Devasthanam. This is situated on the banks of the sacred Tamirabharani river, down south in Tamil Nadu. Our Purvacharyas explain that just like Paramatma and Jivatma are given equal importance in the Pranava Shabdham In this Divya Desam, both Perumal and Azhvaar have equal importance. This is the birthplace of Nammalvar, and after Nammalvar's birth, this Divya Desam came to be called as Azhvaar Thirunagari. It is also part of the Navatirupati, 9 temples around Azhvaar Thirunagari, which have got Mangala Sasanams by Nammalvar. The Moolavar in this temple is called Adinathan, and the Utsavar is called Polindu Ninna Piran. Usually, when Azhvars offer their Mangala Sasanams, they offer that to the Moolavar, the main deity. It is considered very special that for Azhvaar Thirunagari or Thirukkurugoor, Azhvaar has done the Mangala Sasanam for the Utsavar Polindu Ninna Piran. Thayar Adinathavalli and Thirukkurugoor Valli. Perumal here gives us his seva in the Nindra Tirukkolam, that is in the standing posture facing the eastern direction. The Tirtham is called Brahma Tirtham, and Tamirabharani river is also one of the Tirthams. Govinda Vimanam, and the Sthala Vriksham is Puliyamaram, a tamarind tree. We will talk about that Puliyamaram also. In this Divya Desam, Varaha Perumal has a sannidhi with the name of Jnana Piran. Nammalvar in Thiruviruttam, that is the first work that he composed, says Jnana Piranai allal illai naan kanda nalladuve. He does not know any other goodness other than Jnana Piran, who is Varaha Perumal. So Varaha Perumal has a sannidhi here. This Divya Desam is also the Avatara Sthalam of Swami Manavala Mamunigal. And there is also a very, very special Vigraham of Ramanuja in this Divya Desam. We will talk about all of those. Moolavar is called Adinadar, Adipiran. Apparently, the Perumal here, he came even before he created Brahma. Sriman Narayana creates Brahma and then gives the task of creating the world to Brahma. So even before that he came here. That's why he is called Adipiran. And Brahma, so he gave Upadesam to Brahma as a guru here. That's why this place apparently is called Thirukkurugoor. It is from Guru, because Tamil does not have the ga sound, it became Kurugoor. It is also said that a king called Danthan used to live here, and Perumal, and he used to perform Kainkaryam for Perumal here, and because of the Kainkaryam that he performed, that is the Kriya, the verb, this place came to be called as Thirukkurugoor. Nammalvar's parents were Kari and Udayanangai. This couple called Kari and Udayanangai did not have a child for a long time, so they went and prayed to Thirukkurungudi Nambi. And Thirukkurungudi Nambi promised to bestow them with a son. With the grace of Thirukkurungudi Nambi, the couple Kari and Udayanangai had a male child. However, the male child was very different. Usually, when a baby is born, the baby will cry. However, Kari and Udayanangai's baby did not cry. The baby was not hungry at all. The baby didn't want anything. Since he was very different from the ways of the natural ways of nature, that is the ways of the world, the parents Kari and Udayanangai gave the name to the baby as Maran, that is Ulaga Vazhakkilirundu Mari Iruppavar. He is different from the ways of the world. So they gave the name Maran to the baby. The baby did not move, the baby did not cry, the baby did not eat. So the couple, they came to this place. Azhvaar was born in a place called Appan Kovil in Thirukkurugoor. So eventually, the baby just crawled from Appan Kovil, from this place called Appan Kovil, and came to this tamarind tree. Now the tamarind tree had an opening, a hole, sort of a hole in its trunk. So the baby just crawled and went and sat there. That's about it. He did not move from that place at all. The parents did not know what to do. They left the baby there because the baby was very different. This baby is none other than Nammalvar or Maran. Nammalvar's original name is Maran because he was very different from the world. And he also gets the name called Shatakhopan. Apparently, when a baby is born, there is a vayu, there is a form of a gas that comes and engulfs the baby, which makes, and this happens for everybody, including me and you and everybody that's listening. And this vayu makes one ignorant of the relationship between us and the Paramatma. That is the relationship between the Jivatma and the Paramatma. Apparently, when Maran, the baby Maran was born, he kicked that vayu with his legs away. So, the vayu is called Shatam. So, since he kicked that vayu away, he is called Shatakhopan. That's why Nammalvar gets the name Shatakhopan. Shatakhopan or Maran sat in that tamarind tree for a very long time. For almost 32 years, he sat there. And then at the end of those 32 years, he ascends to Paramapadam. We can still have the sevai of this tamarind tree. It's called Tirupuli Alvan because it is so divine that it gave the place for Nammalvar. The tamarind tree itself is referred as Alvan, Tirupuli Alvan. You can have sevai of Tirupuli Alvan, this divine tamarind tree, even today. This tamarind tree is more than 5,000 years old, 5,118 or 19 years old. It is located within the temple premises. It is said that Adisesha himself came as the divine tamarind tree, knowing that Shatakopa will take shelter in this temple under this tamarind tree. Azhvaar was born Nammalvar is born on the 43rd day after the advent of Kali Yugam. So we know that roughly 5,000 odd years have passed, 5,100 and odd years have passed since the advent of Kali Yugam. And that's about the time when Azhvaar was born. So during the course of his life, Azhvaar of course never moved. So he was just in yogam. During this period, there was Bhakta, a Purva Sikha Brahmana by name Madhura Kavi. He was very detached from the materialistic life and he had gone on a Tirtha Yatra to the north. He was in Ayodhya when he saw a bright shining light on the sky. He could see the light continuously for a few days. He desired, and the light appears to move in the southern direction. So then Madhura Kavi decides to follow the light. So the light keeps leading him in the southern direction. So from Ayodhya, he comes all the way down to the south. He crosses over Srirangam and other places. And then the light comes to this place, Thirukkurugoor or Azhvaar Thirunagari, and leads Madhura Kavi to the place where Maran, Shatakopan is. There the light disappears. So Madhura Kavi now understands that he's been brought here to this Maran, Shatakopan, who is in yoga. So he wants to know if this person is alive. That is, Madhura Kavi wants to know if this person is alive. So he drops a small stone. Upon hearing that stone, Maran opens his eyes. Shatakopan opens his eyes. Now Madhura Kavi wants to know if this person can speak. So he asks a question. செத்ததின் வயிற்றில் சிறியது பிறந்தால் எத்தை தின்னு எங்கே கிடக்கும்? To which Shatakopa answers by saying attai tinnu ange kidakkum. Apparently, Maran understood the question and Madhura Kavi understood the answer. We know neither. Let's take a minute to understand. So Madhura Kavi asks, செத்ததின் வயிற்றில் சிறியது பிறந்தால் எத்தை தின்னு எங்கே கிடக்கும்? The meaning is, if a chetanan, that is a jivatma, enters an achetanam, an insentient being, what will he enjoy and where will he stay? Settadu, that is the achetanam. Settadin vayitil siriyadu, that is the chetanam or the jivatma pirandal, if it takes birth. Yettai tinnim, what will he enjoy? Yenge kidakkum, where will it be? And Azhvaar replies, attai tinnu ange kidakkum. That is, the chetanan, the jivatma, will enjoy the materialistic pleasures and sorrows and will continue to stay in the achetanam or the matter. That is, it will keep going through the cycle of birth and death. Upon hearing this, Madhurakavi realizes that he has met a Sarvagya, that is one who knows everything, and falls upon his feet and takes upon Shatakopa as his Acharya. He becomes Madhurakavi Azhvar, and Maran is bestowed all of this knowledge, blemishless knowledge, and is called Nam Azhvar. He becomes the Azhvar. So now Nammalvar goes on to recite, to offer 4 Divya Prabandhams, namely Thiruviruttam, Thiruvasiriyam, Periya Thiruvandadi and Thiruvaimozhi, and clearly documents and explains the greatness and the supremacy of Sriman Narayana. It is said that these 4 works are equivalent to the 4 Vedas. Thiruviruttam is considered the essence of the Rig Veda. Thiruvasiriyam is considered the essence of Yajur Veda. Periya Thiruvandadi is considered the essence of Atharvana Veda, and Thiruvaimozhi is considered the essence of Samavedam. The Adhyayana Utsavam itself used to be called Thiruvaimozhi Tirunal. It was started by Thirumangai. We talked about Thirumangai last month. Kartigai is the birthday of Thirumangai. And he established the Adhyayana Utsavam, the Thiruvaimozhi Tirunal, to celebrate Nammalvar in the month of Margari. And it is ongoing currently. Starting from the night of Vaikunta Ekadasi, for 10 days, Thiruvaimozhi is celebrated in Irappattu Utsavam. So Nammalvar performs Mangala Sasanams for all the Divya Desa Emperumans right from wherever he is. He does not leave the tamarind tree at all. He is just there. It is said that all of the Emperumans would come to Nammalvar to take Mangala Sasanam from him. Azhvar stayed just in Thirukkurugoor. Such is the glory of Azhvar and Thirukkurugoor. Now, Azhvar offers 11 pasurams to Thirukkurugoor Adipiran. Polindu Ninna Piran is the Utsavar, like I said earlier. They are part of Thiruvaimozhi, the 4th centum, and the last decade of that is the Mangala Sasanam to this Emperuman. ஒன்றும் தேவும் உலகும் உயிரும் மற்றும் யாதுமில்லான் நான் முகந்தன்னொடு தேவர் உலகோடு உயிர் படைத்தான் குன்னம்போல் மணிமாட நீடு திருக்குறுகூர் அவனுள் நின்ன ஆதிப்பிரான் நிற்க மத்தை தெய்வம் நாடுதிரே. Here, Azhvar establishes the supremacy of Sriman Narayana. He says, ஒன்னும் தேவும் உலகும் உயிரும் மத்தும் யாதுமில்லா அன்று. That is, when the devas, their world, other species, the entities were all annihilated and became subdued, when none of these existed, நான்முகன் தன்னோடு தேவர் உலகோடு உயிர் படைத்தான். That is, Sriman Narayana created Brahma who is the Samashti Purusha, the Devatas, their world, and other different species. When such Emperuman is standing well in Azhvaar Thirunagari with tall mountain-like mansions, Kundrampol Manimada Needu Thirukkurugoor Adanul Nindra Adipiran Nirka, when he being the cause of everything and the great benefactor, when he is there, Matrai Deivam Nadudire, you're approaching the other Devatas who are also affected by the same creation and annihilation. He goes on to explain the Paratvam, the Gunam called Paratvam of Sriman Narayana here. Now we've talked about, in the past we've talked about how all of the Emperumans show a particular Kalyana Gunam to Nammalvar. In this Divya Desam, the Gunam that Perumal shows to Azhvar is called Paresatvam, that is the Paratvam or the supremacy. It is said that once there was a dog that used to cross over the Thamirabharani river and used to feed upon the leftovers of the folks of the devotees who would discard their leaves and of their banana leaves and the food. One day, after eating the leftovers of the Sri Vaishnavas, of their food remnants, the dog was trying to cross the Thamirabharani river. There was a flood in the Thamirabharani river and the dog drowned. Now one could see the Atma of the dog going all the way, ascending to Paramapadam. So this was witnessed by a yogi called Karuvur Siddhar. He saw this and he recited this verse. Vaikum kurugai tiruvidi echilai variyunda naikku paramapadam alittai. That is, for a mere dog that ate the leftovers, the remnants of the Sri Vaishnavas in Thirukkurugoor. And the Nayodu in the Peikum Padamalittal Padudo. Can you not give that Paramapadam to this pay, to this ghostly person, to this mean person who is here with the nai, with the dog? Perumal Magudam Saikum Padikku Kavisollum Jnana Tamil Kadale, he prays upon to Nammalvar. Such is the glory of Thirukkurugoor. But it's not over there. So, Madura Kavi Azhvar served Nammalvar here for a long time, and at the end of Nammalvar's 32nd year, Nammalvar is ready to ascend to Paramapadam. So then Madura Kavi Azhvar says, I cannot live without you. He tells to Nammalvar, I cannot live without you. Kindly bless Adiyan with a Vigraham of Devarir, the idol form. To which Nammalvar says, okay, take the Thamirabharani river water and start boiling it and you will get a Vigraham. So, Madura Kavi Azhvar does that and then he gets a Vigraham with the Anjali Mudra. Anjali Mudra means with hands folded in Anjali. Madura Kavi Azhvar says, I wanted a Vigraham of you, that is Nammalvar. Nammalvar would be seen with Upadesa Mudra, that is, with the thumb and the index finger touching and the three other fingers lifted up with the Upadesa Mudra. So he knows that this is not Nammalvar, and he says, please tell me who this is. And then Nammalvar says, oh, this is the Vigraham of an Acharya who is going to appear later in Kali Yuga. And he gives, and since the Acharya is going to appear in the future, the name given to the Vigraham is Bhavishyadacharyan. That is, Bhavishya means future. A future Acharya, Bhavishyadacharyan. So Nammalvar foretold the avataram of Swami Ramanuja. Ramanuja takes birth almost or a little over 4,000 years after Nammalvar was born. So that Vigraham is called Bhavishyadacharyan Vigraham, and one can have sevai of the Bhavishyadacharyan even today in Azhvaar Thirunagari in a hamlet called Ramanuja Chaturvedi Mangalam. Since this place gave birth to the Vigraha form of Ramanuja even before 4,000 years before Ramanuja was born, it is often said that you can consider Azhvaar Thirunagari as the birthplace of even Swami Ramanuja. And then the Acharya called Manavala Mamunigal, who is considered as the Acharya of Ranganatha himself, also took birth in Azhvaar Thirunagari. You may have noticed that we frequently say Azhvaar Emperumanar Jiyar Thiruvadigale Sharanam when we are paying our respects, our salutations to the Guru Parampara. Azhvaar here means Nammalvar, Emperumanar is Swami Ramanuja, and Jiyar is Manavala Mamunigal. So it is said that Azhvaar Thirunagari or Thirukkurugoor has the glory of being the birthplace for Azhvaar, Emperumanar and Jiyar. Jiyar is Manavala Mamunigal. A long time after the time of the Azhvars, all of the Divya Prabandhams were lost, except for about 10 pasurams, 11 pasurams on Thirukkudandai, that is Kumbakonam, Sarangapani, Ara Amuda Perumal. Sri Ranganatha Muni, whose name is shortened to Natha Muni, hears of those 10 pasurams in which the Phalashruti pasuram says, Kudalin Maliyachonna or Ayiratulipattu, that is, the melodious 10 pasurams of the 1,000 pasurams. Then he hears that and then he says, oh, then what happened to the remaining 1,000? He wants to learn those. But the people who gave him these 10 pasurams, they did not know of the remaining. So they say these are bestowed by Nammalvar. They are talking about Nammalvar's Thiruvaimuri here. They are bestowed by Nammalvar. So maybe if you went to Azhvaar Thirunagari, then you may be able to find the rest of these Thiruvaimuri pasurams. So Natha Munigal, Sriman Natha Munigal comes to Azhvaar Thirunagari, and there he hopes to find the 1,000 Thiruvaimuri pasurams. But nobody there knows anything about it. Some descendants of Madura Kavi Azhvar teach him this work called Kanninun Siruttambu, which was written by Madura Kavi Azhvar glorifying Nammalvar. So he gives that work, and Sriman Natha Munigal repeats that 12,000 times. So when he does that, Nammalvar, and all of this happened in Nathamunigal's time. Nathamunigal's time is probably around the 7th or the 8th century. So much later than Nammalvar's or the other Alvars' times. So Madhura Kaviyar, Sriman Nathamunigal repeats Kanninun Siruthambu, which glorifies Nammalvar and was written by his Sishya Madhura Kavi Alvar, and at the end of which Nammalvar himself comes and gives all of the Nalayira Divya Prabandham to Sriman Nathamunigal. Thus, Azhvaar Thirunagari is also responsible for giving us all of those Nalayira Divya Prabandha Pasurams. Let us meditate upon this Divya Desam Thirukkurugoor. Let us meditate upon Nammalvar. Let us meditate upon Thiruvaimozhi, and let us all hope that Alvars and Perumal's divine blessings will grace us. Undo Vaikasi Visagathu Kopporunal, Undo Sadakopar Kopporuvar, Undo Thiruvaimozhi Koppu, Tenkurugai Kundo, Orupar Tanil Okkumur. Srinagaryaam Mahapuryam Thamarabharni Uttare Tate Shithindrini Mulatham Dhamne Shatakopaya Mangalam. Azhvar Emperumanar Jiyar Thiruvadigalе Sharanam.